Georgetown and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
In answer to his question about the subjects.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Oh, what a compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? There are homeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up for God or we fall for nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks today and tomorrow as well. And I've got a pretty exciting show planned for us today. In the first segment of the show, I am welcoming Holly Whitelock and Serlina D'Amico. I hope I said the last name right, Serlina. If you're listening, I'm sorry. But a lot of people will also know her as Serlina Bodden. So that's her previous last name before she got married. So we're going to be tuning in with those ladies. We're going to hear about the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association, the conference that's going on next week. We're going to learn a little bit more about basically the marketing industry in the Cayman Islands. And then after that segment, I'm welcoming some of the artists and hosts and I want to say panelists for Cool Out Fest. A lot of people are wondering what exactly is Cool Out Fest, and we're going to be answering that question on the 1 p.m. segment of Talk Today this afternoon. So we're going to go for a quick disclaimer, a little commercial break, and then we'll be back with Holly Whitelock in studio and Serlina on the phone. All right?
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks. And on this segment of Talk Today, I'll be discussing the Cayman Islands Marketing Professional Association and their 10th annual conference. And I have in studio with me Holly Whitelock, and I have on the phone Serlina. I hope she's on the phone. Are you there, Serlina?
I am on the phone.
Awesome. I'm sorry if I Holly just told me how to pronounce the last name, and of course, right away, I think I chopped it up, so my apologies.
Hard one. My family doesn't even get it right. Give yourself grace.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. How are you doing? It's been a long time. I'm happy to hear your voice.
Me too. I'm happy to just be plugged into home in just this little way over the phone, and to also be on the radio, my own old stomping ground. There's so much nostalgia and a little bit of a homesickness right now. So thank you for having me.
Oh, it's awesome. It's great to have you on and on Radio Cayman. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners are going to remember you from your radio days as well. So welcome. And Holly, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, ladies. Just very happy to be on with you today and talk about my passion, marketing.
All of our passion, yes.
Exactly, all of our passion. And to be surrounded by passionate ladies like you who, just always inspiring.
We're always trying to get the work done, right? Behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff, and make things happen.
Is it possible not to multitask? Like, that's one of the things I'm wondering now. No. Like, are you supposed to focus on one thing? I don't know.
I think women are natural multitaskers as well.
I really do think so, especially those of us that are mothers or those of us that care for aging parents. There's no lack of outside life that can impact your work life. And, I think today's topic is going to help us maybe come to terms with some new tools that can help us free up some time for our own lives in the marketing industry. So I'm very excited to talk about it.
Great point, Serlina. I want our listeners to get a bit of a background on each of you. So, Serlina, if you could start to give us a bit of your background, your professional background, and where it's brought you on your marketing journey so far.
Sure. So I think I have a fairly straightforward journey into marketing. I started in journalism. As a senior in high school, I was lucky enough to receive a full scholarship from the Canadian Compass. So I spent the first several years of my career as a photojournalist. And when we talk about, journey through marketing and automation and digitization, I'll just give you a quick factoid that the first thing that I learned at the Compass was how to develop film.
Okay.
So if that tells you anything about, being able to be present during several milestones of the evolution of MarTech, the Compass was really where I saw some of the first digital solutions in the media landscape. And it, of course, influenced me as I moved further into media. I went into radio. And then in 2008, made my sort of formal pivot into the marketing industry. I joined a local retail bank where I worked for 4 years as director of marketing there. And that spurred on a 16-year career now in marketing where I've worked for myself. I've been seconded by large telecoms and done projects with them. I've done 2 segues into the sort of employee engagement world, HR world, just so that I could understand that piece of the business. And that does play into the talk that I'm giving, the importance of people and human capital in the AI landscape. And so that's been my journey. Right now, I work for a fantastic startup located in Toronto, Canada called BG Wealth Group. We develop real estate investment solutions for the retail investor from early and emerging to high net worth. We teach them how to do it. We source the properties and the partnerships, and we have a business model that locates undervalued properties so that as we implement investments, we also reinvigorate communities. And so it's a really service-driven business. As a startup that's scaling, I'm actually getting to have a front row seat to how AI and automation is getting to us to the next level, right, to Series A from startup. So it's a really dynamic, exciting place to be, and I'm just so pleased that Holly reached out to me to be a part of this effort with CIMPA because I truly believe in the organization. So Holly, before I pivot to you, I want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Same. We really appreciate all that you've done for the organization, and we're so excited to have you be a speaker at the conference coming up.
Yes, it's going to be fabulous.
I'm excited to hear actually a lot of what you have to say. You just said something really interesting about your role with BG Wealth and what that company is trying to accomplish. So it'll be really good to hear, Serlina. I'm proud of you because I've seen you in different facets in marketing, radio, promotions and events out here. So it's nice to see where you are, and you just sound on top of it. So way to go, girl. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, really excited. And what I want to do is everything that I'm learning out here in sort of the international landscape, I want to bring it home. Right? I want to be able to empower the girls that were where I was 10 years ago when I didn't really understand where Cayman's place was in the global marketing landscape. It's time to send the elevator back down to the people that now need to come to these heights and have these understandings of these technologies at their fingertips, because it's of critical importance that our marketers understand how to position Cayman across industries by using this technology. And it's very possible. It's very doable. And so I'm really excited to talk about it.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, Holly, I'm going to ask you as well to give us your professional background and where it's taken you so far in your marketing journey.
So I've always been a people person. I think when growing up, you always have a vision of what you're going to do, quote, when you grow up. And interestingly enough, when I went to college, I was a political science major before I changed to communications. And my goal was to have a political science talk show.
Oh.
And this was where I went to school in Florida at the time. So I've grown up between Florida and Cayman. And so once I graduated with that comms degree, I actually ended up moving to Cayman as soon as I finished my degree, moving here permanently. And I worked in radio as well. So that was, you're doing radio, you're doing events, you're doing communications, you're working with people, which I love. And I think what I love about working with people in marketing and communication is it's a cornerstone of your business, right? Like, you're not just helping people, have a nice day. No, you're ensuring that their business is making money. You're ensuring that their business is growing. And that to me is so rewarding to see that. So from radio, I went into tourism marketing to actually for the Government Department of Tourism. And from there, I worked at the Cayman Islands Tourism Association, which is a separate entity for going on 5 years and doing marketing and operations. So we did the Stingray Awards, Taste of Cayman, Restaurant Month. And again, we were helping businesses grow as a member-based organization. From there, I actually, since it's October, I will say I'm a breast cancer survivor.
Aww.
So that is what motivated me and inspired me to start my own marketing agency, Executive Marketing, in 2019, co-founding that with Jenny Figuera. And so our goal at that time was to offer marketing to small businesses in the Cayman Islands, because there wasn't a lot of agencies that, different price points, right? If you're a small business, a one-man team, you might be doing the marketing yourself. You might not have thousands of dollars to put into marketing. So that was our kind of goal. It was a fully virtual agency. So I started that saying, I want people to be able to work from home. I don't sit in traffic. We don't need your creative energy spent by the time you get to work, right? So that opened up doors for college students, moms, Caymanians living overseas to be a part of the agency and to do marketing campaigns for all sorts of clients on island. I saw an opportunity back with the Cayman Islands government, so I did pivot and I started doing strategic comms. I do that now for the Cayman Islands government, and through that, and after all of those years of doing different things, I've always been a member of CIMPA, the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association. And at the last year's conference, you would have thought that I was campaigning to be the chair, the president, the way that I had so much fun. I signed up for everything, volunteered for everything. It's such a cool event when you get to connect with like-minded creators and innovators. So that was in October of 2022. And then in December of 2022, it was like, oh, by the way, like, you're going to be the next chair of the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association. That opportunity arose. And as much as, there is no paid staff for the Marketing Association. It's all 100% volunteers, run by volunteer board of directors and awesome advisors like Sterlina. So that was something that was a really good surprise, and just seemed like a effortless or seamless move as far as the next step in my life or career for marketing. So that's pretty much taken all of our time this year. Things, other things have maybe been put a little bit on the back burner. CIMPA has become a full-time labor of love voluntarily, and it just ties in perfectly. So with the work that I did with executive marketing, we trained UCCI students through internship programs, and then they asked me to teach marketing at night at UCCI. So I teach e-marketing in the evenings at UCCI, and I ensure that every one of my students that completes the class can actually run their own marketing agency by the time, digital marketing agency, or, by the time that they've completed the class. So not only are they walking away with, the basic knowledge, they're also walking away with a lot of hands-on skills that they can turn into real life opportunities to make money.
That's so important, Holly, because a lot of the time in universities, it's theory. And theory is great and all, but it's that on-hand experience that you need and the actual tools that you can work with to get things done and know how to execute. So I think that's great that you're setting your students up for success in that way.
And it all ties into exactly what we're doing with CIMPA. Our vision is, our goal is to help shape the future of the marketing profession in the Cayman Islands by cultivating talented marketers, fostering growth, and creating opportunities for collaboration.
Okay, we're going to get more into CIMPA. We got to take a commercial break right now. So
stay tuned.
After these messages, we'll be joined right back by Sterlina and Holly, and we're going to talk more about CIMPA.
As a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I go in flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymanational.com today.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Introducing Digicel's all-new prepaid plans. Packed with more any-use data than ever before. Entertainment data for the apps you love, like Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Plus, endless social data for Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you're always in the know. Stay connected. Stay entertained with Digicel's new prepaid plans. Activate in the My Digicel app today. Digicel. Better connected.
International Lighting turns 37. And get this, to celebrate, Ed says to drop by and enjoy up to 30% off of purchases. And some items are up to 50% off. Come in and see the great selections of Hunter ceiling fans, starting at $99. Light fixtures, housewares, kitchen and area rugs, curtains, comforter sets, kitchen cabinets, and a whole lot more. International Lighting and the Bathroom Palace, located at Ed's Plaza, 194 North Soundway. Call 949-5141. Happy 37th anniversary, International Lighting.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks, and on this segment of Talk Today this afternoon, I am talking about the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association, otherwise known as CIMPA. We are discussing CIMPA's objectives, really, and value in the community, and Holly had just touched on that before we went to break, so I just want you to kind of reiterate what you were saying about CIMPA's mission and its importance in Cayman.
Sure. So the goal of CIMPA is to help shape the future of the marketing profession in the Cayman Islands by cultivating talented marketers, fostering growth, creating opportunities for collaboration, and demonstrating marketing's value as a key driver of business success. I think that's a key one too, because sometimes we think about the twin pillars of our economy and don't think about how marketing is so necessary for any industry,
right? For
all the industries, right? So we really want to demonstrate the importance of it so that, whether that means higher salaries, whether that means, respect into the industry, or just, just being that, key driver of business success. The vision is a Cayman marketing community that is empowered by knowledge, connected by experience, and inspired to world-class excellence. So you can go to our website, CIMPA.ky, to read a little bit more about that. But it's really about cultivating a progressive community through growth and professional opportunities and creating connections to make a difference in the industry. So that's where our conference that's coming up next week, Connect Experience, all ties into.
Right. Now, a lot of people, sometimes they question the value of associations. What's the purpose of this association? And, I've had people ask me, so what's the value of CIMPA? What does it really bring for the Cayman community? How is it really actually going to grow us? So how would you explain what our value is?
I think it's an invaluable resource to connect with like-minded people and to get yourself plugged in with the right opportunities in the Cayman Islands, because we're always growing. I mean, you may be the happiest person you are in your role. It's not about just looking for jobs, but It's about collaborating. It's about knowing who to call, knowing those decision makers, because, we are a small island and, we work globally as well. So I think the value of CIMPA, in addition to the free trainings that we offer for CIMPA members, which are huge, like Monica Walton did our last training, she did an amazing job. Like even something like our conference is for the 2 days, full food, speakers, workshops, gifts, networking. That's $695 for 2 days, but for members that's $525. So that's actually the cost. the discount is more than the cost of yearly membership. So the cost for a yearly membership is $125 per individual. So, I mean, you can do the math. It's a very affordable way to get connected, to get free trainings, to get professional development, and to meet amazing people like Serlina, who is just taking marketing to the next level.
Right. Serlina, you're still with us, right?
Yes, I'm still with you. And I really would like to add to this piece about the value of CIMPA. You know, especially as someone who's working offshore now of the island and working, you know, I'm based in Florida. My company is based in Toronto. We have to consider that the members of CIMPA and the composition of CIMPA form one digital storefront of the Cayman Islands that tells a story about a country, right? And in order for us to continue to grow, and as Holly said, for our twin pillars to continue to grow, finance and tourism, and the other pillars that are arising through the digital age, through the entrepreneurial generation, Gen Z, it's incredibly important that we have an organization that designs that storefront and positions Cayman for investment, positions Cayman for incoming brands and incoming companies that are within those industries and outside of those industries. It's incredibly important that we are aligned to storytell the Cayman Islands, and CIMPA is a hub for that, right? You've got people from the public sector, people from the private sector, right, coming together to talk about the best solutions for telling stories, making things, and creating messages that bring people's attention to the Cayman Islands in a positive way. And that will never go out of style. That will never not be needed. And I think CIMPA plays an incredibly important role in ensuring that the marketers that are marketing the Cayman Islands are aligned in their national message, are empowered with the right tools, and are unified in their mission to position Cayman as a destination of choice, both from a residential perspective as well as an investment and business and commercial perspective.
I love that summary right there, Serlina. You are a
Can we
speaker.
get that clip? Can we get that recorded clip?
Well, I can absolutely get it for us.
Yes.
I'll absolutely have it for us. One thing I do want to point out as well is, I know, Serlina, growing up here, I know that a lot of, you know, as a Caymanian growing up here, you're very much pushed to go into like the law or the finance industry, right? And I think what CIMPA is showing as well is how much opportunity there is in marketing, and if you're a creative person, that there is opportunity in Cayman to be involved in the creative industries.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think there's, you know, this is a great opportunity for us to correct a misconception that marketers are creative and therefore are not business people, right?
Right.
You know, when I hear the word creativity, I hear problem solving, right? Mm-hmm. I hear someone who understands the landscape of their business or the landscape of their product from end to end, from how to sell it to how to recruit into it. Marketing has this catch-all function in every business that we have to be well-versed in every single discipline of that business, right? So there's this idea that we're just creatives painting pictures, when really we are the connectors that take your product, not only sell it and make sure that people buy it, but we make sure that it serves them and that they come back, right? And you can scale that message up and up and up. But the importance of marketing in any business, and I don't want to jump ahead in your question agenda, cannot be questioned, because we really are the hub that brings all disciplines together and then story tells that for the benefit of the business and for the benefit of the consumer.
Yes. Well, marketing is now considered a professional service. So I remember at one point it wasn't necessarily considered that professional industry, but it absolutely is, because it's become known as, you do have your business objectives, and marketing directly supports what those business objectives are. And if you have to be able to communicate it somehow and get that word out, right? So that's where it all kind of ties in.
Oftentimes we take on tasks and functions from other parts of the business because we are marketing and we speak the language of the business. We tend to be literate in other areas of the business. Now, that's got its pluses and minuses, because every marketing department will tell you, hey, listen, don't give us jobs that aren't our jobs, but we're reliable in that way because of our literacy of the business, right?
Yeah,
and when we talk about AI a little bit later on, we'll talk about how that's going to create even more space for us to develop mastery over our subject matter. And that's where we grow as professionals, as Holly was talking about earlier, and the importance of that. So,
all right, well, we're really supposed to be talking about the upcoming CIMPA conference. We got a good background here on what CIMPA's about, and both of your ladies' professional background in marketing. So our listeners are getting a very good picture painted for them verbally.
Yes.
But in the upcoming CIMPA conference, if you can, Holly, share with us what the theme is and what people can expect from this conference.
Yeah, so, you know, the world's changing, marketing is changing, we have so many technological advancements nowadays. So that's kind of what we're tying all in together with the conference. So the theme of the conference is Connect Experience, and it's uniting human creativity and AI in marketing. So it's looking at the pros and the cons, but seeing, as Sarlene is going to speak to a lot, of how we can use the systems to our advantage and how we're always going to be relevant. Humans will always remain relevant, and how to innovate, adapt, and evolve to not just remain relevant, but to use the technologies for not just our, making for in our own lives, because, mental health and self-care is important. We're so busy multitasking. So there's that aspect, but really it's about turning innovation into impact. Someone wrote us from overseas, and they said, we want to talk about the first time that AI rolled out an emergency crisis campaign within 24 hours and raised $1 million within 24 hours, something that, AI could only really do as far as timing. But, does that take a human's job? Well, no, right? And further, even if it did, if that's what it takes, then for the crisis to be managed and for the money to get there, are we going to, let's not work against the system. Let's learn to work with the new advancements. And that's what this conference is going to be all about. It's going to be learning about the options that are out there for AI to use for your business, for your marketing, for whether you're in public or private sector, and then also kind of how are we going to develop these policies? Because companies are going to, need to create AI policies and kind of see where it fits in with their business. Students are going to be there. UCCI is a big sponsor of the event. They're not allowed to necessarily use ChatGPT to write their papers, right? So they have this tool that's amazing, but they can't use it necessarily for certain things. So it's really just looking at the tools, how we can use them, and how we can best use them to the advantage to turn innovation to impact.
All right, we're going to get into more details about the conference and what those AI tools are. And if people are listening, are AI confused again? Yes. Artificial intelligence. So it's here to stay. We can't ignore it, but we're learning how to embrace it. And as Holly said, turn innovation into impact. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back shortly.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub. Say what? The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new boneless hot sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
As a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The 2023 Household Budget Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office. The data collected from the survey will determine the items and the dollar value of these items that are included in the new Consumer Price Index basket of consumer goods and services for the Cayman Islands. Trained interviewers with identification cards from the ESO will visit 2,400 randomly selected households across all districts. The Household Budget Survey will run for 1 year, ending February 2024. Approximately 200 households will be interviewed each month. The interviews are confidential in accordance with a Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For further information on any aspect of the Household Budget Survey, please contact the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers of a planned service interruption along Prospect Drive and adjacent roads on Sunday 29th October to facilitate infrastructure maintenance works. The interruption will take place between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. and will impact the following roads: Prospect Drive, north of the intersection of Morningside Drive, Westwood Drive, Bonnie View Avenue, Bay Island Avenue, Loch Lomond Way, Bayside Court, Roxborough Street, Ripon Court, and Oxford Court. Traffic signs will be posted in the area and flagmen will be on hand to direct traffic. All motorists are asked to drive with caution to ensure their safety and that of the Water Authority staff. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of the motoring public and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
I feel like I have to get my own intro now. Waiting to take your calls is Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And I'm like, it's really Kathy Miller filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks this afternoon and tomorrow again. And I'm here with Holly Whitelock in studio. I have Serlina on the phone as well. She's joining us in this conversation from Florida. We are talking about the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association and their upcoming 10th anniversary with their conference, which is really big. It's next week, Thursday and Friday.
November
Holly,
2nd and 3rd.
You were giving us some info, so if you could go back to the conference again, let us know maybe who some of the speakers are.
Sure. So we have Greg Kilstrom. He literally wrote the book on AI and marketing, and everyone who comes will get that book as part of their gift bag.
Wow.
Yeah, he's flying in from DC, I believe. And we have Jeff Abrason. He is coming in out of Montreal, Canada, to talk about how humans can play nice with robots. And I love that. Serlina she can speak a little bit more to her specific topic because it's just so amazing. She'll be virtually tuning in, or we'll be tuning into her virtually at the conference on workshop day on Thursday. We also have Amy McGrath from Airview Media. She will be speaking to the power of the prompt. And so if you don't know what ChatGPT is, then you might not know what a prompt is. But ChatGPT is one of the AI tools we'll be talking about. One of the definitely one of the fastest growing applications ever.
Yes.
People downloaded ChatGPT quicker than Twitter, TikTok, any of those things because of all what it can do. I mean, whether you're just a business owner on your own that wants to create some social media content, or you want to create a complete business plan, ChatGPT can really assist you with that type of thing. So Amy will be speaking to the power of the prompt, which are actionable tips on talking to AI for business. So ChatGPT would just be one of those examples. There's many other technologies coming out that you can even type in and they'll create graphic designs for you now.
Right.
But also there'll be a panel on Friday at 11:55 on Friday. And Jason Butcher, a local investor and advisor, and he's also the chief entrepreneur in residence at the Cayman Islands Center for Business Development. He'll be on the panel. Elizabeth Charles, entrepreneur and innovation speaker. She will also be on the panel. And she also has a workshop that she's giving on the Thursday. It's called The Tales of Transformation. Super excited about that. She has a really cool website, ercharles.com, I think it is. But she's talking about mastering storytelling to elevate your business and ignite innovation. You can't create change until you are willing to rebel against the predictable.
Interesting.
So that should be really interesting. And we have the Honorable Andre Ebanks, the Minister of Financial Services and Commerce, as well as Investment, Innovation, and Social Development. He's going to be giving opening remarks from the innovation umbrella.
Okay, wonderful.
super excited about
There's
that.
a lot.
We
Selena-
have 3 more names coming on.
sorry.
I know, but you have to you have to stay tuned for that.
Booked and busy.
Selena, can you give us just an insight into what your topic will be about?
I'd love to. So it's going to be a working session. It's a workshop, and it's called Marketing Futurism, and it's a system for ditching industry hype, working smarter, and predicting trends with mastery. And it really is about the system that I've formed within my own marketing function at BG Wealth Group for applying AI to the marketing ops disciplines, where it eliminates human error and speeds up human production. But also, on the converse side, the 5 subjects that any marketer really needs to be literate in order to create customer success. So it's like, here's where you can use AI and apply it effectively in a professional services environment to save time and eliminate error and perhaps create cost efficiencies. But on the other side, with that time saved, this is how you can become a subject matter leader in your business. And these are the 5 kind of global phenomena that you need to always know about in order to be that subject matter expert within your business.
Okay,
and
awesome.
So we'll talk about these 5 subjects during the workshop. So
and they got to sign up to find out what that is.
That's right.
We can't tell them too much, Selena. But
right.
that's a good summary.
Thank you.
I understand there's an awards gala with CIMPA, right? But this year we're kind of doing the gala and conference together, correct?
Yeah, we really wanted to be able to honor, just combine those 2 events just to really honor the best of the best in marketing and, marketing communications. We have the community impact of the year. You have the creative of the year. So it's really cool because you pay for the conference as a bundle and you get to come to the awards social for free. So that's from 5 to 7, just after the main conference. So we'll be getting all the knowledge, all the innovation, and then we'll go downstairs for a few cocktails and to just a little celebration.
To honor the creatives and the marketers in the Cayman Islands. I think
Yes.
it's so important because more often they're not really recognized in the role that they do.
You're always
play.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, very
you
much
would never
so.
know who's running that campaign for the most part, or who came up with that idea. So this is that
Right.
opportunity because they, we work really hard just like any industry, so they deserve that recognition.
And that includes graphic designers, illustrators, copywriters.
Yes. Rising stars.
Communicators. So there's so many different facets of marketing. So I love that the awards ceremony does recognize people working in Cayman in that industry, and makes them want to work a little harder for something to be recognized.
There's going to
in the
be
next
some
year.
surprises too. I mean, it is the 10th annual event. We couldn't, we had to do it big. So there's going to be some surprises for attendees. Like we're definitely going to be recognizing.
And there's somebody who's going to win something, I understand.
Well, there's a scholarship winner, and
there we go.
They. It's the 5th annual CIMPA scholarship, and or the 5th year for that, and. Like some industries, there's more males or females. And I think with marketing, like even with teaching marketing, I see a lot of females in the industry. This year, I can give this little teaser that the person who won the scholarship is a young man, a young Caymanian who is just going off to college to study graphic design. So we're super excited to be able to announce that because, again, as a nonprofit, every dollar that you invest into, whether your membership or to a sponsorship or to attending the conference, is going right back into the professional development, the future of marketing, and this is this scholar. So that your money, not only are you getting great value for your money, but it's going to a good cause. And I think it'll be really cool. I hope that if we don't get him live, that he'll have a little video for us to talk about.
I hope so too.
Yeah, winning that scholarship because he was super happy about it. Yeah,
of course. Who wouldn't be? 5,000, right? So that's a pretty huge scholarship. That's a nice chunk of money that's taken care of.
And if
in your
anyone's
studies.
listening, we are happy to co-brand that scholarship. We want it to grow. If you are listening and your corporate social responsibility is, development of the future of marketing, email us info@cimpa.ky because we want to turn that 5 to 10 and that 10 to 20 eventually. Yeah.
That sounds pretty nice to me.
Yeah.
So why should business owners and marketers or entrepreneurs support CIMPA's conference this year?
I think, one of the main reasons is that you're giving back to the community, with that scholarship. But I think, you're just going to get so much out of it. And you don't want to be the one marketer that didn't go to the event and doesn't like, don't be out of the loop. Like, I would say, keep our ear to the ground. I think that's what's special about marketers or communicators. There's so many times that I'm telling someone something that happened. When did that happen? Here in Cayman, there's a new business, there's this, and people don't know. So I think coming to this event, you're going to walk away, you're going to be one step ahead of the, whether it's your competition, but we talked about this, Kathy, we're not competing, we're collaborating. Right. But I mean, there is that certain level of competitiveness in business and staying at the top of your game. So I think that's really what you want to do. I mean, you
can't, like the best practices, getting at the tip of your fingers, knowing what the best practices in marketing are right now, and that's definitely involving AI. So.
And we're going to do a little, I don't know if it would be like a live debate, but we're definitely going to do a vote. So you want to be able to cast your vote on how you feel about AI. And where is it, or do you feel it's going to take jobs? Do you feel like it's going to create jobs? Are you nervous about AI implementation into the marketing industry? So we'll get some market research too. So you want to be a part of that.
Oh, excellent. Serlina, was there anything last that you got maybe 30 seconds if you want to give us a last note?
I want to reiterate the importance of attending this conference. I think if anything, if you're afraid of the AI phenomenon, if you're afraid of it taking your job, if there is any frustration in your business about how it can be utilized or applied, this is the place for you to come. It's going to put your mind at ease and it's going to equip you. So from an entrepreneur standpoint, a team member, a marketing director, a CEO, wherever you sit in the business, there is a place for you in this conference. So come and join us.
Awesome. Thank you. And Holly, if you could give us any last details, ticket info, contact info.
The event is at the Grand Cayman Marriott Resort next Thursday and Friday. That's November 2nd and 3rd. You can read all about it on CIMPA.ky/conference. You'll see the different ticket tiers. You can buy just the workshop day. You can buy just the conference. I would encourage you to do both. You don't I was just saying to Kathy, what if the people come on conference day and they miss Serlina's talk on workshop day? Hopefully we can have, hers will be virtual. So hopefully we can share that in the future. But I just encourage you to check out the website. It's definitely, you'll see a return on your investment for the cost for sure.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining me today. And
thank you, Kathy.
I look forward to being at that conference next week.
Can I say you're the vice chair?
You can. Well,
Kathy is the new vice chair of CIMPA, by the way.
Unofficially?
Unofficially. She's acting. We're getting the details sorted, but I just want to say thank you. As the chair of CIMPA, it's really awesome to have an amazing vice chair like you to be supporting the organization and the industry.
Thank you for reaching out to me and talking to me about it and bringing me on board as well. So I'm
of course.
For me, it's a chance to also kind of reconnect with some people out there and also kind of work on different things in marketing that I think the Cayman Islands needs for us to continue evolving.
Yeah, and if you want to get involved, there's space. I mean, Serlina's put together a team of strategic advisors, program advisors. There is room for you. Just email info@cimpa.ky.
All right, you heard it here, and definitely get your tickets for the conference. It's next Thursday and Friday, November 2nd
1 week.
and 3rd at the Grand Cayman Marriott. That's how.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
A public consultation is about to get underway as the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Heritage wants to get some national dialogue going before the formal naming of the national dish, national drink, national dessert, national dress, and national dance. As part of the process, MYSCH will be launching a cultural identity campaign to educate the public on authentic Caymanian customs and traditions for early Caymanians and other aspects that should be considered when providing feedback during the public consultation period. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, U.S. President Joe Biden has warned China that the U.S. will defend the Philippines in case of any attack in the disputed South China Sea. The comments come days after two collisions between Filipino and Chinese vessels in the contested waters. Mr. Biden reiterated his ironclad defense commitment to the Philippines. Manila has contested Chinese claims to the waters, cutting floating barriers and inviting media to film what it calls Beijing's dangerous moves at sea. And at least 27 people were killed in Hurricane Otis, which made landfall on Mexico's Pacific coast on Wednesday, officials say. 4 more people have been reported missing, the security secretary said. Acapulco was among the areas worst hit, with 80% of the resort's hotels damaged and streets flooded. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
I'm Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Ports, and I need your help to keep our beautiful islands clean. Littering is unsightly and negatively impacts our tourism industry, which is crucial to our economy. Keeping our islands clean is everyone's responsibility, so let's all work together to keep the Cayman Islands beautiful for generations to come.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Frances Louise Bodden, MBE, JP, 1903 to 1978. Miss Frances Bodden, sometimes called the Mother of Israel, was perhaps the best known and best loved woman in Grand Cayman for several decades. She served as secretary to successive commissioners and as general factotum at the government office, to whom everyone went for everything. She was a pillar of the Emsley Church, teacher, preacher, woman's guild, and girls' guildry leader, and right hand to the minister. She was a Cub and a Scout commissioner, as well as an executive member of the Girls' Brigade. She was a justice of the peace, serving in both juvenile court and the higher court. Miss Frances was even the collector of agouti heads when the government paid a bounty for each agouti killed because of their destruction of vegetation. Georgetown's only telephone was in Miss Frances' house in Georgetown, which she kept as a boarding house. Among her boarders was the Reverend George Hicks after his retirement.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Banks this afternoon. And on this segment of Talk Today, we are talking Cool Out 2023. So Cool Out Fest it's really where music meets finance. Or is it where finance meets music, really? Music for me is the key thing here, but it's also a conference that's talking with a whole bunch of people in the music industry. So people are coming from all over to Cayman. There's been a lot of questions as to exactly what Cool Out is. So we're going to try to answer some of those questions here, try to give people a better understanding of Cool Out, and to talk to some of our world famous artists in the Cayman Islands right now. He's not known for that opening right there. But who I got in studio with me right now, I've got Ricky Ducent, a.k.a. Rick Rock.
In the house. What's up? How you doing, Kathy?
Nice to see you.
You too.
I only see you when I was beating you in volleyball.
This is true. This is true. And so it's good to be here now, so I get beat up on the radio now instead.
Well, you're also a radio personality,
Indeed.
so you already know what to do.
Indeed.
And then I've also got joining me JG, Jason Gilbert, and otherwise known as Scorch Bunnet.
Yes.
How you doing, JG?
Hello, Kathy.
Nice to see you. No problem. I'm happy to have you here. I haven't ever had an interview with you, so I'm hyped to have you here. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm going to steal you again for another one time. And then also joining us is Antonia Mina Hebert, also known as Madame Nerosa. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Living it one day at a time, but yeah, I'm here.
Living the vida loca. This is what I like to say. Okay, well, welcome.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So to give people a little bit more background on Cool Out, this is an annual music industry event. It started last year, so we're in our second year. It's got a small concert thing going on with some big names that are coming into the island as well, and some local artists. That's what we're going to be talking about a lot today. And the conference part is we're teaming up with lawyers, industry professionals, and as I said, the artists from all over the world. We're kind of trying to understand how music and finance merge. And as I'm pretty sure JG and Ricky here can tell you, that's a really big side of the music industry that not a lot of people understand. And I think for you to be successful as an artist, you have to have some sort of a grasp or an understanding.
Or at least have a team member that does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's, so Cool Out, when you look at the website, which is cool-out.com, and you look and say, okay, that's a lot of people coming in. It's just, what's this, a bunch of free concerts? And it's so much more than that. So, when I was approached last year for the first, showing of the conference, I guess you could call it, I was sold on the concept right away, because basically what is happening, it's all about, and I'll get asked, all right, can you help me with my music? I wanna go into the music industry and I need advice.
Right.
Go. And it's like, there's so much more to it, and people forget it's the music business, which means there's a whole business side of it, and you're basically in the buying and selling business, or manufacturing and selling business. So you manufacture music in this case. You got to understand how to manufacture marketable music, and then you got to now you go get it marketed, which means either you pay to market it or you convince somebody to spend their money to market it, and then you got to make once you've generated this buzz, you got to make sure it's available for sale. And it sounds simple, described like that, but there are so many little nuances and individual aspects to the business that it takes going to conferences like this. And, one isn't going to be enough. You're going to have to keep going multiple conferences and learn from industry professionals. And that's basically what's happening here, what we're trying to make happen here. Right. So it's basically inviting those who already know, already successful in the music industry. So this year, the focus is on Korean artists and country artists coming down, international artists already doing well, coming down and explaining what the path was, what was done, and what they had to do. And so, as a local artist here listening in and checking out these things, you kind of start to form a picture in your mind of what this business actually entails. And do you actually really want to be in it?
It takes a lot, right?
It definitely does.
Really takes a lot. JG, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just think Cool Out, I was at it last year. And after being in the industry for over 20 years, I learned so much about the business side. You know what I mean? As creatives, we focus a lot on the creative side of it. But like Rick said, it's the music business, right? And business should be like, in bold, because that's the most important part of
Capitalized
it.
And
Capitalized, right? So, where music meets finance is a theme this year, and or the slogan, which I think is very important, man, because as a musician, you need to learn how to sustain your finances, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big thing, especially I think for a lot of local artists, it's how do I make money? How do I survive? But we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, for Madame Nerosa.
Nerosa.
I'm just going to exaggerate his name.
The coolest name ever. Nerosa.
Yes.
And wait till you find out. This is the simplest way that I came up with it is, for Madame, it's just honestly just for title. Just wanted to sound a little fancy because I love jazz and I love Broadway, but I've been experimenting with like other genres because I like to get some. How should I put it? I like to be as creative as I can be, so I wouldn't want to stick in just one genre area. I know it's important to build, but the way that my mind works, if I see it, I'm gonna be like, you know what, let's do this too.
The creator's dilemma.
Like I get it, I get it, and I understand, but let's try this over here too. So with Madame Nerosa now, the Nerosa side is just a breakdown of my nickname Nini, but it's spelled Nini. So I just took the Ni piece and then Rosa, which is either like pink or rose in Spanish. I just put it together. So if you were to translate it, it would be like Madame Nirose. Yeah, I just thought it was a cool little take. So I was like, okay, cool. You got a Spanish take, you got an English take. So yeah, it's kind of about it.
Tell us what your music is like.
In which aspect?
How would you describe yourself as an artist? There's a better question for you.
Okay. I like to like describe myself very like versatile. And I say that because, again, going back into the creative aspect, I've been singing for years, like from a young girl. I love anything that has to do with performing arts, dancing, art, singing, playing an instrument. I love all of it. It's always been a part of my life, and it keeps me going. It's my bread and butter. So besides like the jazz and Broadway, I like to experiment with other genres, so like country or R&B, Afrobeats. I actually have like 2 originals that are in that area, like Afrobeats and a mixture of like maybe calypso or soca. So
I can hear it in your voice, the jazz part for sure. Like
I definitely have a deep voice. Yeah,
I can see this with you. So, how this is your first time as part of Cool Out Fest?
Yes, for sure. Nice. I am excited. By default, I am also anxious. I've always had a stage fright growing up. I'm not as much anymore. I'm actually not afraid to perform, but because I've had stage fright growing up, it's a default mode now. So you'll hear it in my voice when I start singing, and the rest is like, oh wow, love that.
I don't believe you. She doesn't sound nervous at all, right?
She's trying to trick us all.
Yeah, you guys are too kind.
You're fine.
Although I will say that stage fright is a good thing. I've never met any great performer that doesn't have stage fright. Yeah. It's a good thing. It keeps you humble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You go out there too confident, like, yeah, I'm gonna be awesome. I'm gonna kill it.
Right.
Yeah, they ain't gonna know I hit them, and then you open your mouth and nothing.
I think that those butterflies also show, that you still really care. You're still really invested in what you're doing. Yeah. So, there's still that great feeling that comes over when you are on a stage. So.
I definitely like the self-awareness for sure. So, I'm not gonna say I don't hate it. I don't mind having those stage fright. It's good. Just remind me like, oh, there's a lot of people here. Wow.
When will you be performing as part of Cool Out?
So I'm set to perform on November 3rd at Cayman Cabana at 12.
Okay.
Based off the schedule, I think I might just be starting off the schedule at Cayman Cabana.
Okay.
I believe nice. So again, excited, but a little anxious.
Now, there's some free events and some ticketed events, correct?
Yes.
Yours, do you know if yours is a ticketed event?
Mine should be free as far as I'm concerned, but I know the Stevie
Aoki.
There
Steve
we go.
Aoki, yeah.
Thank you very much. I know that his is ticketed, but
yes.
As far as I'm concerned, mine should be free for the public.
And if it's 12 noon, I mean, people should come check you out because
Cabana
has great food, one. And then for a performance, especially at
Big up
during
Luigi
lunchtime,
in the kitchen, boy.
Is he really in the kitchen like that?
Probably not.
No, right, yeah,
Pointing, maybe.
I wasn't sure. Now, JG, if you could give us a summary of you starting in your music career to now, because some of our listeners, I don't know where they would have been.
Joel just gave me.
How long is this show?
The word summary
Big up
is
Joel.
key.
I just saw Joel in the hallway, and I've been doing this for so long, and it all seems like a blur. And Joel just brought me down memory lane. My first song I ever released, I released it here on Radio Cayman with Joel. And he reminded me of some of the stuff I did. So my first label when I started out was with Crypt Keeper. And then I moved on to, I started La Familia Records. Joel just reminded me of all this stuff, by the way.
Can you remember what age you were around this time?
No, Crypt Keeper era, I was probably around like 15, 16.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was like the first song I was like brave enough to release, and it was a big deal.
So Madam's age, basically.
Yeah.
I was gonna say how. I was like, you how old? I'm just joking. I'm not gonna do that. Good genes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and then so after the La Familia era, I formed Hit Depot with some friends as well. released a lot of music there, and then I formed the Is.
Yep.
Which is a big part as well, and then
big movement.
Big movement.
Yeah.
Then I started to focus on production. Went on to do like a lot of international productions, and then I started to DJ with the brand Scorch Bonnet.
How are you just gonna skip over one of the most important musical, I would say, history parts of Cayman that has to do with you? When you went into production, you just can't skip over that.
Oh, that's he always a blur, man.
You just can't skip over that. So, are you not our only Grammy Award winner for the Cayman Islands?
Yes, more to come.
That's kind of huge, JG. So, tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, I was doing a lot of production for myself and my group, The Is, which led to me producing for other international major acts like Eminem, Christina Aguilera, Akon. It's all a blur right now, to be honest. You can't put me in a spot.
Wow.
And he's forgotten more people that he's produced with than I've ever done.
Oh, wow.
You know?
It definitely came to him in a dream.
And you won your Grammy with?
With Eminem. And
that's pretty huge.
Then I got into soca through Scorch Bonnet. Did stuff for Cass, Marshall Montano. And then with Scorch Bonnet, then I started performing again.
Yes.
As an artist.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. And still producing for a lot of other people, but focus back with hitting the stage again. So at Cool Out, I'll be a headliner on the waterfront alongside Steve Aoki, where I'll be performing and DJing. So yeah, you get to see where I'm at right now and what all this has brought me.
How does that feel being a headliner with Steve Aoki? Because he's literally maybe one of the, I would say, top 3 biggest names in EDM, electronic dance music. So the fact that he will be here DJing and you're going to be headlining with him, what is that?
Feels great, man. Feels like I'm playing with a peer. You know?
Yeah. Okay, maybe some production will happen there as well. We don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm excited about that part of it.
For you, what do you want Cool Out to bring?
I'm really excited about all the music business stuff that's happening because, like I said, as artists, we have to look at ourselves more so as a business, right? As artists, we have to manage so much, especially as an independent artist. Like you have to manage so much from your legal stuff to your accountant to your finances, and I think that's a big part of what we're missing here locally, understanding the business side of it. So I'm really excited to attend a lot of the conferences and for everyone here as well to attend the conferences and just learn how the business side of it works.
Because in the beginning when you were speaking, you said you learned a lot on the business side last year with the conference. So was it for you a part that you just weren't interested in, or was it a turn off? Because I understand how it could be a turn off. I do when it comes to, I do.
Like a lot of the stuff I've kind of had to do on my own as well. And I also have like team members who do this stuff, but to go more in depth with it, which is, you know what I mean? Was very helpful, and I think it'll be helpful for like all the independent artists here as well.
How do you think it's going to benefit the independent local artists here?
Just understanding, like Rick said, I mean, we focus so much on making the product, and then after we make the product, we kind of just get stuck there, like, okay, what to do next? So this will help with the what to do next, how to turn that product into viable earnings.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, great. Now, thank you for answering the question on where you are in your music career to hear so far, and I can't believe that you forgot a lot about a lot about that.
He sets
that's
the bar so high. My goodness, no pressure.
All right, Rick Rock.
Yes, ma'am.
So I like to brag about you a lot.
You do.
And
that was you. I was wondering who that one person was. Oh, okay.
My opening line is always, he performed for Michael Jackson. So, I mean, it's to me, it will be the greatest pop singer ever in the world.
Yeah, me too.
So that's
I'm
my
right
take.
With you. I'm right there with you.
Tell us your musical journey from where you started to where you are at now.
All right, so I started out as a sappy little songwriter. So I used to write songs just because. One day I was in high school. Now I probably shouldn't admit this because it's illegal. But I used to on a Friday evening after school's done, I'd listen to the radio and use cassettes. I just aged myself, I know, and just take the hot songs of the week. So I had these great cassettes, and then I don't know what happened one day. One evening doing that, it occurred to me, I wonder if I could do this. If I could write one of these songs, and I tried, and song wasn't bad, and I tried to write another one, and that wasn't bad either, and I just kept doing it just as a hobby. And then when I got to university now, a friend of mine who is now Sean Paul's musical director, a guy named Nigel Staff, we're best friends. I ran into him. We're in high school together. He was like this hot boy, you know, the musician guy in the band, whatever. And when I got to university, I ran into him again, and I told him, hey, I write songs. You want to hear one? He's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And it took like a week before he finally, because I'm sure he gets that all the time. I write songs, I'm great. He heard one of my songs, and he's like, yo, we're going to studio now. And he introduced me to Mikey Bennett, who's one of Jamaica's top songwriters / producers. And then from there, I ended up meeting Brian and Tony Gold, Chevelle Franklin, Maxi Priest. That was mind-blowing, which eventually led to me meeting Shaggy's manager. So through Brian and Tony Gold, they were his background vocalists. They were going to start writing, and so they told the manager, which is now my manager, Robert Livingston, who should we need some songs. They said, oh, we got a writer. We got this guy, he can write. Talking about me. So that's how I got introduced to Robert. I demoed a song. I wrote a song for a track that they were working on, and it needed to be demoed. So I went around to the studio, and this is Mixing Lab, which is one of Jamaica's most famous studios. By the time I got into the vocal booth, every artist, because it's kind of a hangout spot for local artists, every artist that I grew up listening to was in the control room. I'm like,
so no pressure.
No pressure, Ricky. Yeah. Of course, I messed up the first verse. I had to start over. Robert wasn't happy with me, but then I finally got through the song, finished it. When I came back around to the voice room, it was like that was like a major transformation. When I left that room, nobody cared. When I came out and went back into that room, all of a sudden, yay, yo, such and such, shaking hand, knock face. I'm like this dude now, like okay. And then that's when I'd seen Shaggy before, and we'd do like the nod thing, like hey, what's up? But this is the first time he actually came over and spoke to me, and so I had a conversation about what I want to do with songwriting, whatever else, and I say you'd like to rap with me. I'm like, okay, if you insist. So exchange numbers, and I figured that would have been the end of that. He left, came back off tour, and he called me. I'm like, okay, call me. That was where we started writing what would then become the Hot Shot album, which you may know went on to sell 10 million albums, et cetera, et cetera.
Just 10 million.
Thereabouts. And so we wrote like 100 songs. And I think what we liked about working with each other is, we were just playing with each other. So if he came up with a line that was whack, I'd be like, yeah, no. And vice versa. So we had that relationship. It was we could be honest with each other without taking offense. And so we ended up, it must have been like 110 songs, 14 of which became the Hot Shot album, 8 of which I co-wrote.
Okay.
So
wow.
My name, if you look at the Hot Shot album credits and then the subsequent albums, my name is all over it. Wow. Just all over the album. So, and then we did a show here. So he calls me now. Wasn't Me takes off in Hawaii.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Was that your first time with your name going on album credits?
So, no. So the first time I got my name on album credits was with Jamaican dancehall DJ Patra, Lady Patra.
Oh, wow.
So I knew, so through Nigel Staff again, he introduced me to her manager, a guy named Specialist. And they were working in the studio. So anytime he's going to the studio, I'm there. So I just been hanging out, and that's how I met, I can't even remember the song that we worked on. But I managed to squeeze my name in on one of those songs. That's how I was able to sign up for ASCAP, which is the American Association of Songwriters and Publishers. And so that kind of started that little thing there. And then I just kept showing up. Now, I didn't make any money for years, but I was just there. Mm-hmm. You heard, and a pan knocked, yeah, I'm there. I just made myself available. And I think that's one of the key things that helped me, I'd say, garnering the success that I got is just showing up. I think it was Woody Allen that had a quote, something like that, the 80% of success is showing up. And so that was, I guess I took that and ran with it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, right?
Very key point there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And so now, fast forward now to the Hot Shot album finally being released. Shaggy calls me now. I don't know where he was. He was in the US somewhere, I think. He calls me to let me know, hey, Shaggy, Wasn't Me went to #1 in Hawaii. I'm like, okay, great, lovely. And so we're going to have to go tour and promote it. I was like, well, cool, have fun, call me when you get back. No, we as in you got to come. I panicked. I remember exactly where I was too. I was driving on right by Devon House in Kingston.
Yes.
And he said that, and I think I forgot where I was. I forgot who I was. I went blank, man. It was, so I'm walking up and down in my house for the weeks after that between then and the show, just singing, just trying to remember this song because I could not remember the words. To the point where my next door neighbor saw me years later and said, "Oh yeah, we used to hear you sing." I get to Hawaii to sing this song. I get like 3 lines in and forget the rest of the song.
No way.
Honey came in and she got me red-handed.
No.
I was done. But it was such a huge song. Mm-hmm. The crowd was singing it, so I just held the mic out.
Oh, so you couldn't be like, pull up.
Right. I didn't have to do that. I just held the mic out and I thought, what? They know this song, really? How big is this song? Yeah, that's when I had the shock of my life. I had no idea how huge this song really was.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And then, so there's more to this story.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, we tour the world. Like, there are more places that I haven't been. There are fewer places that I haven't. There's a way to say that properly where I sound smart, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All right. There are plenty of places I haven't been.
Yes.
There you go. Let's go with that. But we come here to the Cayman Islands to do a show at the parking lot of the King's gym.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's where I meet my wife. Hi T. What's up?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I met my wife. So I'm supposed to be singing, right? So I'm backstage with a mic in hand. I'm supposed to be singing, and she walks past the side of the stage, and I forgot where I was.
Did you forget the lyrics again?
I forgot words. I forgot what I was doing. I forgot everything. Nothing. I went blank. It reminded me of like when Shaggy, almost like when Shaggy called me, but way worse, way deeper. I was like, I have to meet her. And so I'm not the dude with game and lyrics. I ain't that guy, But I was like,
I think you have the lyrics.
Maybe I have the lyrics, yes. But man, let me tell you, I was like, I don't care what happens. I'm going to say something to her. No matter what happens, I ain't got nothing to lose. And now we've been married for 17 years now.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
I know, right?
I love that story.
She's so lucky.
Do you still do music now?
Well, it's funny because I'd stopped for many years because it worked out kind of great that I ended up here, spending a lot of time here, and then we got married, had kids, got family, and I just wanted to be a dad. That's all that interested me. I wasn't interested in music in the least.
Oh, you were smitten.
I was hooked.
Wow.
Man, let me tell you, it was good, bad. I don't even know what correct term is right there. But I'd stopped making music for many years, and then one day, my middle daughter Delaney, she was about 11 or 12 at the time, and we kind of ran into each other in the hallway, and she said to me, "Daddy, why did you stop making music?" Which caught me completely off guard. I would to hang with you. This child looked so unimpressed. She was not impressed in the least. She looked at me. She didn't even say anything to me. And the look on her face, I said, I should probably start making music again, right? And she just nodded. That's all I got. Not a word, not a single word. She just nodded. And that was kind of, I guess, permission. So, okay, maybe I can start making music again.
Nice.
And so that's where I continued. And then what was interesting, though, I'd been away for so long, I had to kind of learn it all over again. That took years.
Mm-hmm. It's different now.
It's completely different. And there's so much more. But you have to remember, back in 2000, which is when Hot Shot came out, there was no social media.
Right.
I'm trying to remember if Google even existed then. It may have. I'm not sure. But, going onto the internet for things wasn't really a thing yet.
I think Yahoo was there.
I think it was Yahoo. Yeah, I think you're right. So Yahoo was there. I'm not sure if Google was there. And if it was, not really as many people, it wasn't as popular as it was now. It definitely wasn't a verb. Google is now a verb.
Oh, it's everything.
It's insane. Yes. But so I had to basically learn all over again. And so I said, all right, yeah, and we decided we did an album, me and a couple of friends. So this is separate and apart from Robert now. Do this thing independently. Robert actually supported us, even though it wasn't his project. So gotta tip my hat to Robert Livingston. Bombed, nothing, didn't know what we were doing, and that's when I was like, I might need to learn this from scratch. Right? I don't think I understood it even when we had success.
Right.
And then that process began, and so it's now fast forward another 10 years maybe. Now I'm finally starting to. I understand it way better now. Music is marketing. The music business is an actual business. My manager said it to us one day. He said we were in Japan, we were looking cars to buy, and we were there. Must have been complaining about, oh yeah, the music business isn't doing this, and hey, why don't they give us this chance and that chance? And he stopped us and like, hey, you need to understand a couple of things. One, it's called show business, not show friends. He's great at coming up with these kind of things.
Yes,
he's amazing at these kind of
yes.
things. Right? So he says this one. The other thing he said, you also have to remember, we're trying to break into, say, the American market or the European market. That's their train. Those are their tracks, and those their stations. If they let us on, the correct response is gratitude. Take advantage, as much as you possibly can. Build as many relationships as you can, but don't think they owe you anything. They don't. It was a very sobering conversation, I can tell you.
It's a life lesson, right?
It is a life lesson. Nobody owes you anything, and it's not. What I realized in later years is that's not just applicable to music. It's applicable to everything.
Yeah.
There's any business you want to go. You want to be a lawyer, nobody owes you clients.
Right.
You know, you want to be a plumber, nobody owes you pipes, whatever.
You got to show up.
You got to show up.
You got to show
up. You got to
up.
put in the work, and you got to earn the deal, basically.
Yes.
Which is a whole different perspective. Once I started to understand that, then I started to realize, making music, performing for an audience, it's not a right, it's a privilege. And my role there isn't for you to, be grateful that you got to see me. It's me to be serving you. You spent your money. I come up on stage talking about holding out the mic. Yeah, you sing. Yeah. No, we paid to watch you sing. You
That's
sing.
True.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
I've seen that recently, and I was like, come on. It was actually here, a show here. It was an artist, and they had the audience singing, I'm going to say 70% of the show, and I was highly disappointed.
I can imagine.
I really was.
I mean,
we got to go to a commercial break.
Okay,
I'm a little bit over, so we got to go to commercial break. Cool. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Get ready for more with Digicel's all-new prepaid plans. More any-use data to browse. Entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Plus, stay connected with endless social data for Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. With Digicel's new prepaid plans, you'll never miss a beat. Activate in the My Digicel app today. Digicel. Better connected.
How can you make a classic BLT sandwich even better? Well, by adding tuna. Wow. The land meets the sea in Subway's new sandwich, the Tuna BLT, available for a limited time. The Tuna BLT is exploding with flavor. Imagine crispy, juicy bacon strips on top of tuna, fresh lettuce, and slices of tomato, topped with your favorite sauce and choice of freshly baked bread. Enjoy the best of both worlds with the Tuna BLT from Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Why replace when you can respray? At Granite Express Cayman, we can completely transform your old kitchen cabinets with a fresh kitchen respray for just a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. Big news! We are offering kitchen respray at rebuilt cabinet doors and drawers starting at $3,995 CI dollars. We can make your dream kitchen come true and at a price to suit all budgets. Call 922-0424 for a free estimate, friendly service, fast installation. Visit graniteexpresscayman.com. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from October 23rd through the 28th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited, whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Do you know that conditions may change suddenly in an emergency and you may have to leave at a moment's notice? When a hurricane threatens, you should have a grab-and-go survival kit. This kit should include your personal identification and other vital documents, which should be sealed in a watertight pouch or container. For more tips and information, visit the Hazard Management Cayman Islands office or caymanprepared.ky. This hurricane tip is brought to you by Hazard Management Cayman Islands and Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Whew, I almost missed that cue to come back to the show. Good afternoon. This is Kathy Miller. I'm filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks on Talk Today this afternoon. And we are talking about Cool Out 2023. I have in studio with me Madame Nerosa, one of the artists that will be performing next week. I think it's next Friday at Cayman Cabana for Cool Out.
Yes.
And also I've got in studio with me, I've got JG, Jason Gilbert, otherwise known as Scorch Bunnet. And then I've got Ricky Doucette, who was just talking about his career in music and where it's taken him so far. And I got to ask you what your involvement in Cool Out is.
All right, so just like last year, we had Andre Alexander coming down to lead some songwriting workshops. It was awesome. This guy is amazing. He's a Grammy winner himself.
Mm-hmm.
He teaches at one of the universities there in California. And so he led the workshop, and so I was part of that team where I'm helping with the workshop. So I'm going to be doing the same thing again this year, really looking forward to it. It was a fun time. It was a great opportunity to even meet some of the aspiring songwriters here in Cayman and encouraging them and, showing them actually there's more to it than you thought.
Yeah.
And so here are some little tips and things here. So I encourage, if you're an aspiring songwriter, please do come on out. cool-out.com is the website. You can check out all the workshops right there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Now, Madam Nerosa, I know that I ask you as well during the break, because this is your first time doing Cool Out, right? And there's going to be a whole lot of industry people coming down to the Cayman Islands to be part of the conference and also clearly going to the shows and whatnot. And a lot of big artists that you'll be on in their line of vision, per se, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
for you, what do you hope to gain out of this Music Meets Finance conference?
So if I'm being honest, I haven't been able to attend any, but I know that if I did go, I would benefit through engagement. It's good to have a better understanding of how not just on a whole about the music industry and how finance can benefit it, but it's also good to understand how we can also benefit the Cayman Islands as well, as I don't think it's something that's really a focal point here currently, which it makes sense why we're trying to get that engagement from the community. So I think it's also good for the community to get involved in something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I hope you do gain some connections out of it, and a lot more people come to be able to hear who you are and what your music is.
Actually, got 2 connections right here now. Just saying. Just saying.
Hello, 3. Do I not count?
3.
Oh,
3.
Oh,
Why you think you weren't included in that 3? I might have been excluding JG for hey.
Got some birds coming.
Man, I always get myself in trouble on the radio. Goodness.
Now, JG, during the break, I had asked you because I knew you were involved with Hopscotch recently. Yeah. So I said, "Are you managing Hopscotch?" And you said, "Yes, the studio side."
Yeah.
And because what I had seen, especially during the summer, was some summer camps at Hopscotch.
Yes, which we're continuing the Hopscotch summer camps, which are now going to be the Hopscotch after school program, where kids can learn how to produce music from scratch, like the summer camp, but more in depth. Produce music, write songs, mix, master, all that.
That's
cool
so
stuff.
good. You got to say that twice. Say that again, man.
So we're starting the Hopscotch after school program.
That's Hopscotch after school program. Kids, I hope you're listening.
January.
Oh, kids probably should be in school now.
Midterm break.
Yeah. Oh, they're in midterm break. Yes, exactly.
No excuses.
Yeah, it's a little more in-depth version of the summer camp where you learn how to create a song from scratch, which involves writing the song, producing, mixing, mastering, marketing. During the summer camp, we shot videos as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I loved it. I think...
and some business.
That's my favorite thing. I studied audio engineering for a few years.
Oh, dope.
And that was way before I moved here, because we're not going to age myself like some people from the 8-track era. And so, yes, I might have been around the 2-inch tape era, but that's cool.
Well.
So I think it's really awesome that you're doing that. And a lot of people have this kind of misconception that we have to leave Cayman. Well, I don't know if it's a misconception, so you can tell me that we have to leave Cayman in order to be successful in the creative or especially the music industry. Has that been the case for you?
Back in the day, yes. But now with the internet and everything just being so connected, and I think one of the misconceptions is like you have to make it in the United States or Europe. But we have the Caribbean market just right here in front of us, right? And I think we should take more advantage of that, you know what I mean? Because there are artists around the Caribbean who are making successful earnings just touring within the islands.
Right.
You know? So the world has become a lot smaller, I find, today as it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, we had to travel to make those connections, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And especially with things like Cool Out, where everyone is coming to you, you know, definitely show up to all the conferences, try to network as much as you can, because networking and collaboration is where it's at.
Absolutely, I agree. And again, I think if you could remind our listeners when you will be performing, who you'll be performing with, what can they expect from you that night?
So I'll be performing next Thursday at the Waterfront. I'm a headliner alongside Steve Aoki, and I'll also be a headliner at Nash Up, which is with Nash Overstreet.
Okay.
At the Cabana.
Okay, awesome. And again, the tickets are at cool-out.com. All right. Look at us in
I know, right? Look at that. That was
like
awesome,
we used to
right?
do some
We
promos
did,
together.
we
You
did.
remember that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's when I made you famous.
Proud of it.
Yes. Okay, awesome. I have to ask these things.
It's true.
What better ways do you think people can support local artists? Because I always hear that maybe they're not getting a lot of support. So I don't know where that's coming from exactly, but if you could suggest what better ways we can support our local music scene.
You know, when I hear that question, I'm always a little confused, because the Cayman Islands is the only country that I'm aware of that requires every radio station and every live concert to have at least a certain percentage of local acts. So I'm not, now, could people probably do more? What does success look for? What does even support look like? When you say support more, what does that mean? And
okay,
I don't think many. Well, that's the thing. I don't think many, even performers, even local artists, even understand what they mean when they say that. Define that. Does it mean a local business that knows nothing about the music industry funding your career? Why would anyone do that? It's a business, right? I think the greatest way to support, and it's not just here, anywhere in the world where you have aspiring performers, singers, songwriters, bands, whatever. I think the best thing you can do for them is point them in the direction of education. So educate yourself on how this business actually works. Most of us, and I include myself, for years I had no clue, even when I was, touring the world, no clue whatsoever how the music business actually worked until I started reading. It's not like 20, 30 years ago when, nowadays it's better. There's so many resources now. There's all kinds of courses. You can do YouTube, but you're going to end up wasting a lot of time. It's disorganized information. But there are full-blown courses now teaching you how the music industry works, how, the elements of songwriting and all kinds of stuff. So invest in yourself is the best way you can support yourself. If you need help with that, then maybe that's what a local business can help you with, help you fund that aspect of it. But you got to put in the work. You got to show up. Ain't nobody going to do it for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Repetition.
Yep.
You would say the same thing?
You gotta show up, man. Like, put in the work, repetition, collaborate is, I think, my key word, I would say. That's how I was able to advance so quickly. It's just like I'm one to collaborate. I hate making music by myself.
Yeah, collaboration over competition. I said that in the earlier
awesome,
interview, actually. Collaboration over competition.
Indeed.
Every time that's how you're going to always win. And everybody else will win, and that's how we just bring people up.
And it's how it works in the rest of the world. All these Ed Sheerans, Taylor Swift, they're not competitors. They work with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not Taylor. Taylor Swift doesn't work with each other.
She works with everybody.
She works for the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm pretty sure, in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
It could be that.
She's diversifying her portfolio. That's what
Yes. But I asked the question because in me speaking to some artists, they say, man, streaming doesn't make a whole lot of money. I can't remember how many streams it is before you'll even make $100.
It's ridiculous.
And their preference is if you want to buy my music, maybe don't go to the DSPs, the digital streaming players. Don't go there. Buy it from my website directly, or merch or something like that. That helps better kind of support them in their career.
There are other ways too. So there's live performances. So these are the other some traditional ones, but there's also some non-traditional avenues. So there's websites like airgigs.com, I think it's called. You can literally sell your services as a background vocalist, as a live musician, as a songwriter, whatever.
Okay.
On these websites, there's a bunch of them. Airgigs is the only one I can think of right now. You got people doing performing at conferences exclusively. I came across this guy online, does 6 figures a year exclusively performing on conferences, and I'd never heard of him before.
Wow.
Right?
That's a lot of money.
It's a ton of money. And he charges, I think, like anything from $10,000 to $30,000 per conference.
Wow.
And he does 1 or 2 a month, and he's done for the month.
Okay.
And so look at the alternative avenues of income. There's music licensing is a whole new world. JG can tell you all about that.
Sync licensing.
Sync licensing is another whole other avenue of making money from your music. So we see streaming. Streaming, it breaks down approximately 25%. So per stream, 25% goes to Spotify, if you're talking about Spotify. 15% go to the copyright owners, and then the remaining 60 goes to the label, which sounds unfair, but then the label is the one investing the money and taking all the risk.
What about publishing?
Publishing is included in the 15%.
Okay.
So that's all the copyright owners. So it's not sustainable if that's your only avenue.
Right.
But to diversify.
You got to find other avenues.
You got to find avenues.
That's a very good point.
There are plenty of them.
We got to go to a commercial break right now, and I think I have two of my guests that might be leaving us. I'd
Sorry.
like to hear about the syncing thing. I don't know if you could stay. It's up to you, JG. I know you got another agenda appointment to meet. So if you got to go, I understand. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Don't forget, everybody, you can catch JG Scorch Bunnet. You can catch him next Thursday night.
Sign up for the Hopscotch after school program.
Do that as well.
Yeah. Hopscotch Studios, ky@gmail.com.
And then check out Madame Narosa next Friday, the 3rd of November at Cayman Cabana, 12 noon. She's performing. All right. Thank you so much. We got to go a commercial break, and then I still got Ricky with me in studio here.
Yeah, won't let me leave.
And I saw the avocado dealer. I don't know if she's still here, but I would like an avocado.
I know, right?
Ready for more fun, more data, and endless connections? Digicel's all-new postpaid plans got you covered. Get more entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Endless social data for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean. And more international minutes than ever before. Stay connected on the fastest, most reliable network in Cayman. Make the switch today. Digicel. Better connected.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I go and flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
A CUC energy saving tip. In the summer months, your AC can account for nearly 70% of your energy bill. Ensure that your AC is serviced every 3 months to ensure that it runs as efficiently as possible. With CUC, you've got the power.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
All right, welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we have just less than 10 minutes going on, and I still got Rick Rock in studio with me.
She
right
won't
now.
let me leave.
He doesn't want to leave.
I don't want to leave.
Even yesterday, he's like, I can't come. And I was like, yes, I'm going to work my Kathy magic.
You are going to show up for the interview. And I'm here.
And
it worked.
He was so excited this morning about coming, so I'm glad that you made it.
I'm glad I made it too. I really am.
You're an important part of Cool Out. You were in the first year. You are this year. Mm-hmm. You're hosting the songwriting panels.
I'm part of the team doing the songwriting workshops. Oh, and I'm also on one of the conference panels. So we're going to be talking about the music industry and how it connects with. There's a whole bunch of us on this panel.
Great. Okay.
So that's going to be interesting. My good friend Tina. What's Tina's last name? I can't remember Tina's last name now. I've gone blank. She's gonna kill me when
she might be on here. Tina. You can look on here.
I can't read without my glasses.
Oh,
Kathy, where you
no.
go on spot like that?
Why do I gotta find Tina out of all the people on here?
No, but she was our marketing head of marketing at MCA when we were assigned to the label.
Simkin,
there you go. So Tina Simkin, amazing lady, full of ideas, and so a really good person to learn from. You know how music marketing works. Mm-hmm. It's way more involved than most people would assume. It's way more expensive than most people would assume.
I agree.
Trust me. And so, and the thing about it is, people don't understand the music business is one of the most ungrateful businesses you can imagine. It has like a 90% failure rate, or 90 plus. So of all the people that get signed to labels, over 90% make no money. And so that's just a write-off for the record labels.
Wow.
So when they do find a hit, they gotta maximize it to make sure they stay afloat, which is why companies shut down all the time.
Right. Yeah. And then there's that formula for finding a hit, writing a hit, right?
And there is a formula. You know, it's funny because I've been researching this kind of stuff because I'm putting together my own little songwriting coaching program. And so I'm looking at...
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Yes, it is. Huge songwriting program. And so I'm looking at some of the comments below videos, people talking about songwriting tips and stuff. And people do not understand how this thing works. You'll see comments like, there is no formula. Actually, yes, there is. You can't have a 7-minute song. Nobody will play it. You know, Queen tried that years ago with their Bohemian Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. So, which is now a huge song.
We play that. Yeah.
And they were a big band when it was released.
Right.
When it went to radio, the story goes, you know, DJs were looking at it like, what am I going to do with this? They couldn't play it, and they wouldn't. They refused to play it. It was way too long. It was way too many different elements going on inside of it. They couldn't figure out where to play it, so they just didn't. Mm-hmm. And it took, I guess it was probably fan driven. That eventually, you know, about the request and all that stuff, it eventually got played. But that was a tough one to market, because you as a marketing rep at a record company, you're calling radio stations, hey, please play this 7-minute long song, and the radio stations are like, nope.
But I think that was also during maybe I'm getting the eras slightly wrong or the years slightly apart, but I mean, Pink Floyd had, you know, songs that went on for years, Led Zeppelin, right. You know what I mean? So I think that was all part of the that musical experience and what they were experimenting in during those times. And so it kind of fit.
And music actually, I'm glad you used the word experiment, because that's essentially what it is. It's an experiment. And if you're the one paying for your own experiment, oh, well and good, experiment all you want. But when someone else is footing the bill now, then it becomes, actually, no, we're not going to be experimenting with you right now, which is why it's so hard for artists from the Caribbean in general, trying to break into other markets, because nobody's trying to pay for their experiment.
Right.
That's the thing, and not a lot of people understand it, which is why I'm so glad you have conferences like Cool Out now coming here. This is a really important thing to get that understanding. To change the perspective. Yeah, it might mean you're going to have to water down your music a little bit. It might have to be 3 minutes instead of 14, like the way it was originally written. But at least you'll have a chance of making a way in this business now. And then now, once you've established yourself and you have an audience and you have direct access to this audience now, like you do with social media, well then, yeah, by all means, make a half-an-hour song if you want. It's up to you. On
the money side of it, do you think the conference is affordable, and some of the workshops, is it affordable for the local musicians to attend?
So
that's controversial, but a big question.
There are some parts that yes, they are, because they're free concerts, and they're some of the things like some of the workshops. I think the songwriting workshop I think is $80, $150, something like that.
Okay,
they're not free, and they can't be free. You have to understand that you're competing. What they're trying to do is basically bring MIDEM. Now, MIDEM is like one of the biggest music conferences in the world. It's hosted at Cannes in the south of France. Super expensive to just attend. But people spend their money and they'll go because it affords them the opportunity to rub shoulders with big music execs, producers who they would never otherwise get a chance to meet. And it's the same kind of thing happening here. So you could trying, I'm sure they try to keep the cost down as much as possible, but you can't say, all right, let's go have a big music conference. We're going to invite all the biggest names in the world, and we're going to set up a tent in the Radio Cayman parking lot and bring them here. No one would come.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Radio Cayman pop, maybe.
The parking lot?
No, I get you.
That parking lot is hot.
Yeah,
I just came from the parking lot.
Yeah.
So there are expenses that just can't be avoided. You have to have venues.
Yep.
You have to have hotels. You have to pay these people in many cases.
Yeah.
It's expensive. And so these expenses have to be covered in some way. And sponsorship is wonderful, but, it can only go so far. It can only cover so much. So it has to be, the balance has to be covered by ticket prices and all that kind of stuff. And there are a lot of people buying tickets. So it's great. That's another way to support, music, even locally.
And think about it. So $80 to maybe $150. I think that was another figure.
I've seen $80 for some. There was $150 for one. I haven't really been checking all of them, but yeah. So
but these are for the workshops,
right?
So the certain workshops for developing your artistry, right? And they're going to be working with you. You sold 10 million records,
right? And
that's
so
kind of a big thing.
That's kind of a big deal. And so
opposed
there
to
are
me
things that
who's
you
never
may be able to
sold
learn from
you
me,
know?
not to sound egotistical or anything, but I've learned some things that you might find useful as an aspiring singer.
I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe you. And then some Grammy winners as well.
We're
going to have
so
there.
JG's going to be there. JG's a humble guy.
Yeah.
But don't take him simple. He's achieved some huge things.
I know that.
Yes. So getting a chance to, just hang with these people, there's another guy, Alex J. He's coming. I think he's coming back again. This is the guy that produced Despacito. Right?
You were telling me that.
That's
yes.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be here hanging out just like nothing.
Can you sing that Despacito? Just.
I don't know the
I'm
words,
not going to
but
quit my
yeah.
day job. The way he looked at me was don't. I sang to him yesterday and he just almost hung up the phone.
It's, there's another one. I'll mix up. I'm thinking, why doesn't this Spanish sound familiar? It's Portuguese.
Probably because I tried to sing.
Maybe that too. Yeah, maybe that too.
Could be that.
But yeah, get to what you can. When I started out, I couldn't afford most of the conferences because they're expensive. Mm-hmm. But when I was able to start going, boy, did I show up. I went to these conferences. I had conversations with. I remember one time.
But they weren't here.
They weren't here, and so that included I had to fly to France. And then I had to get accommodation in the south of France. That's no joke.
No, it's not.
Right? I remember I paid like €14 for a soda one time when I was there.
Wow.
I was that thirsty though.
Yeah.
I was that €14.
Yeah.
Those are the prices there. So there's no way of getting into this thing free. You're going to have to invest some money in yourself, and that's what it is. It's an investment in yourself.
I was just going to say that. And that conference is here on our shores.
It's here on our shores. No airfare required.
If you're a serious artist, put that money towards this because it's about that education.
Exactly.
And we were talking about how can artists best educate themselves.
You can't go to university for free.
No, well,
right?
There's University of Facebook, according that's
right,
during COVID.
Yeah,
there is that.
That
so,
really credible source right
yes,
there. Yes,
absolutely. You got maybe 30 seconds if you want to tell our listeners anything else that they should know about Cool Out.
So cool-out.com. Go to the website, check out all the events. Everything is listed right there. Come to as many of them as you can. Come to the free performances. Come and support the local artists and make the international artists feel welcome. This could possibly be the thing that brings the music industry here to us on a more permanent basis. So definitely come on out and support and come say hi to me.
All right. I like that. I'll be there supporting. So Cool Out. We'll see people there next week, starting Thursday. All right.
Looking forward to it.
We got to go to the 2 p.m. headline news. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rick Rock.
It's my pleasure.
And let us know when you're up with your coaching.
Yes, we'll do.
Session,
I'll come back again and we'll have a whole
program.
session. We'll talk just about that. All about me.
But, you're interesting. I like to hear about it. I'm so happy to see you and sit with you again.
Same here.
All right. We got to go to 2 p.m. headline news.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The first in a series of Royal Cayman Islands Police Service community meetings have wrapped up with initial visits to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. The meeting served as a formal introduction of Commissioner Kurt Walton in his new role as Commissioner and Chief Officer of the Commissioner of Police. The meetings began on Cayman Brac on Tuesday, October 24th. The next stop of Commissioner Walton will be Bodden Town tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Webster Memorial Church. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. The jury in the fraud trial of Sam Bankman-Fried has been sent home after the former crypto boss briefly took to the stand but did not speak. The former entrepreneur was instead asked to testify in private before the judge to determine what parts of his testimony are admissible. The 31-year-old is accused of lying to investors and lenders and stealing money from customers of his now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange, FTX. Mr. Bankman-Fried denies the charges. And the U.S. economy grew faster than expected in the third quarter of the year, helped by a tight jobs market and consumer spending. The economy expanded at an annual rate of 4.9% in the July to September period. That's according to the U.S. government's first estimate. It marked the biggest rise seen since the last 3 months of 2021. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Upgrade your connection with Digicel's all-new postpaid plans. Experience the freedom of endless local calls, more any-use data to browse, entertainment data for Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok, and endless social data for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's not all. Stay connected when you travel with roaming data for the USA, Canada, and the Caribbean, and make calls while abroad with more international minutes than ever before. Stay connected on the fastest, most reliable network. Make the switch today. Digicel, better connected.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy. It has my two favorite things combined, cheese and boats. Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Kathy Miller, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and right now in this segment of Talk Today, in celebration of Cayman's 14th annual healthcare conference, I have in studio with me Dr. Manny Manticon, right? I got that right?
Yes.
Yes, I didn't. Sometimes I be chopping up names. So, and then I also have Nick, who's from Jackson Memorial Hospital. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Kathy. Really a pleasure to be here. And thanks to you and Dwayne for the opportunity to be here. A lot of people know me here from the Cayman Islands for a long time. I've been coming here since 1999, and they call me Dr. Manny. It's really a pleasure, and everybody knows it's a pleasure to be here. We're here supporting the 14th annual Cayman Islands Conference, healthcare conference. When it was back then, it was the 2020, 14 years ago. It used to be called 2020 Healthcare Conference, the Ministry of Health 2020 Health Conference, and now is the Cayman Island Healthcare Conference. And then also it's part of the ministry, too, the Ministry of Health.
Right.
But it's really a pleasure to be here. The Cayman Islands, like always, say hello to everybody out there that know me, and my phone's still the same. Everybody knows I give out my phone, the radio, and everybody knows my number.
Oh, hey, well, now I have it.
Yes,
Dwayne was
you.
safeguarding your phone number for a minute there. I was like, hello, Dwayne, can I get his info? So now I have your card. Now
My
I know
pleasure.
I can get a hold of you anytime.
Thank you
Excellent.
for the opportunity to be here.
No
talk
problem
today.
at all. I'm glad you guys were able to come because I've had a pretty full show today. So I'm glad that you were able to come and squeeze in and before the conference begins. I'm correct, right?
We were listening to you on the radio on the way over here in the car. So
okay.
we heard.
Oh, great. I hope you were entertained and informed.
Definitely.
And we just got here from the airport. Actually, I went over there, dropped my bags, and came over.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, thank you. So you're definitely making some squeezing us in at least. And let us know, tell our listeners why you are here for this conference. What's your role in this conference?
Actually, University of Miami and Jackson Memorial, where Nick is from, he's accompanying me here. We support a lot of the Cayman Islands. We support in the conference, like the 14th annual conference. We're in this together and with other institutions. I try to invite some of the people from the conference, but everybody is congested over there because people are filling in and coming in, and we just got in there, did the stuff, and left the bags and come over. But it's really a pleasure to Ms. Laurie Ann Holdings. She's from Holding Enterprise. Kelly Holding, yes, from Kelly Holding, and she's done a great work, preparing and setting it up. And it's really my hats off to her because I've been going to these conferences and I've been talking to her a lot recently. But it's really a pleasure, to be part of that. So we're supporting the conference. We're going to be there, today, later on, tomorrow, and the day after. And it's going to be very educational. The problem is it's a capacity. They're expecting 400 people, and they only, have 400 people, only 400 tickets to go in because it's going to be packed. It's one of those conferences that is really, really packed. A lot of information, medical information is going to be given out, at the conference.
But what are exactly your role or your capacity at this conference?
My role is to be here with you. No, and then to be here with the Cayman Islands is really a pleasure. Actually, I represent the University of Miami. A lot of people know me from the past, all the hospitals, but I represent Miller School of Medicine, University of Miami Miller School of Medicine, the UHealth International Department. I'm the director for the Physician Relations, International Physician Relations and Business Development for University. I could talk over and over, university, all the center of excellence that we have, all the different things that we have at the university. And, my relation here in the Cayman Islands with all the physicians, the people in the community is really, really, that's very close.
Okay. Are you going to be giving any presentations, or because you
talked
about the educational part?
Yeah, it's a lot of educational. There's other people doing presentations, and in the event, I will not be doing any of the educational this time around.
Okay. All right, Nick. What about you? Can you tell us your role in
this
healthcare
so
conference?
Similar to Manny, I work in business development at Jackson Memorial Hospital, Miami. And what we do is similar. We come here to promote our institution and support the community and just let them know what we have to offer, whether it is a second opinion or if it is something that they need overseas care. And that's it. And it's my second year in a row with Manny. Second time he's brought me over here and put me on the radio. Not one of my favorite things, but
you're fine.
No, it's been great. It's been great. It's a great experience, and there's a lot of hospitals over there, and there's just a lot of information for the community.
Okay.
But UM and Jackson, we have a great partnership, and over 50-something years. So
yes,
we just like to come over here and let everybody know what we have to offer.
Okay.
Because it's very different from what they have access to here. So.
Right. So could you expand on that a little bit?
I'll let the Dr. Manny Montecon expand on that a little bit more.
Yes, the physicians here, like I said, I've been going since 1999. It was really different back then.
Right.
And a lot of the physicians know that, they're here. But nowadays, we have a lot of, different physicians, different specialists. We're doing a lot of things in the Cayman Islands here. Not we. When I say we, it's not me. Actually, when I say we, because I feel part of the Cayman Islands.
I'm sure.
Yes, I do feel part of the Cayman Islands. But you have, the HSA, Doctors Hospital, you have Health City, the different expansions they're doing. Everybody is getting great access, to different, different healthcare here. Progress has come a long way in the Cayman Islands, a long way.
If you could reflect back to 1999, I think that's when you said you first started coming. If you could reflect back to that time, I can't quite remember myself, so don't worry if you're like, I'm not sure.
All right.
How would you describe the healthcare industry then compared to what you see now?
Oh yes, I was talking to the taxi, about the one that brought me here. And I used to tell him, that the street that goes by the hotel, the 7 mile all the way, that used to be a 2-lane road, and it was dirt on the sides.
Right.
I remember when they started doing the sidewalks, they started expanding. That's way back.
Right.
And then the healthcare and on the HSA, it wasn't, it was really, really different. The hospital was different. There was very, very limited, resources, very limited specialists. I used to be one of the hospitals. We used to come here on Thursdays all the way until Sunday and, do consults at the hospital. It was because the healthcare was still in the progress here.
Right.
Nowadays it's a big difference. You have, like I said, mentioned, you have the HSA, you have the Doctors Hospital, you have Health City, and the expansions they're doing, the different settings they're doing over in Cabana Bay. Back then there was no Cabana Bay, there was no road there.
Right.
Back in those days. Yeah. So. It has come a long way. There's great physicians here. You have great physicians, because I was here about a month ago, 3 weeks, a month ago in a conference, and you could tell, you could see the physicians that are here, state-of-the-art physicians, they were lecturing there.
Right.
And I met new people. Some of the old people I know, but new people and new physicians, and it's really state-of-the-art, what they're doing. Sometimes people want a second opinion. You want to, go a different place. That's why here. One of the things is, and we have a lot of ophthalmologists here that are really good. But Bascom Palmer Eye Institute is the number one hospital, eye hospital in the world. Okay, and it's been ranked by U.S. World News Report for the last 20 years. In the U.S. and in the world. So, it's a state-of-the-art hospital. The other different things like University of Miami has, the UHealth, the Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. We're the only NCI designated cancer center in South Florida, actually Southeast United States. There's only about 8 of them in the whole United States.
Okay.
And so, it comes a long way. That was, founded in 1992. And little by little it has grown. There's a lot of expansion there, like that area with Jackson and University of Miami
with Jackson, like MTI, and then also rehab facilities that we have.
Right, but that area used to be, little buildings, all over the place. You go there now, it's huge buildings, research, different, like the cure for paralysis. Miami Hope is there, cure for paralysis. We have Dr. Lamelas. He's a heart surgeon. He invented, the minimally invasive valve. He was one of the ones that was pioneer on that. You mentioned that you have it. It's like in all these specialties. And then also, we do have pediatrics. We're a complete service hospital. And the pediatric is done at Holtz Children's Hospital, which is part of Jackson Memorial. Right. All the physicians, everything is admitted there. But, the consul are done. And people think, Holtz is part of Jackson. No, it's part of the University of Miami. It's the Holtz Children's Hospital. The thing is, the hospital is really adjacent to the Jackson Memorial. And the Radio Trauma Center at Jackson Memorial, the Lean Rehab Center also is there. It's a brand new facility. It's a great new facility. and Nick could talk about it a little bit if he wants about that.
Well-
We don't do that much rehab, but the physicians from University of Miami go to the rehab because it's a collaboration.
Yeah,
Right.
the collaboration it's a little different the way it works, but we basically provide the facilities, and UM usually provides the physicians. So that's kind of the relationship that we have. And like I was saying earlier, it's been a relationship we've had for over 50 years, and it works.
Okay.
So whatever we don't have to offer at Jackson, UM offers, like the Cancer Institute. That's Sylvester is actually a UM point of care
Campus, yeah.
campus. But pretty much everything else we do it together. Like I was saying, the rehab facility that we have, it's a new $250 million facility, state of the art, 12 floors. And it's a UHealth Jackson collaboration, along with MTI, which is our transplant institute, is another collaboration. We do the most transplants in I don't know if it's the United States or the world.
No, in the United States.
In the
Number
United
one
States,
program
number one
for
the last 2 years.
solid
running.
organ transplant.
So I
yes.
mean, there's just a lot of things that we offer. And I think we come over here because we know that they have a lot of good facilities and good doctors here and great doctors here. But what we like to do is just let them know if they want a second opinion, if there's something that they don't offer here. Jackson is here, University of Miami is here. So.
And that collaboration with the physicians here, that's one of the things. And they all know me. They're the ones that know me for a long time. I mean, if they have a doubt on something, all they have to do is pick up the phone and give me a call, and I connect them to one of our specialists, and they speak, to the subspecialists that are, really into this care.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something I wish I did, was get a second opinion. And
Don't we all?
for a really bad injury I had, and I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. So I think that's so important.
It
and
is, yeah.
I felt somewhat okay, but then I think a couple years down the line, I'm like, maybe things could have been a lot different, or I would have more mobility. Right? With it's with my wrist. So. Yeah. I regret that in that sense. So I know there's a lot of people out there that are like me and thinking, oh, how can I get that second opinion? Do I even have kind of the right to say, I want to team up? Or I know I've heard of this doctor at Jackson Memorial, for example. Right. How do people go about seeking that second opinion?
And normally it's through your physicians. I support the physicians locally, like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I always say,
mine was great. I want to say mine was great.
No, it's good. I'm glad that did. It's like, and I'm going to say something. At that time, that was the right choice that you did. You wanted probably to get a second opinion, but you made that choice, and. You stick with it, and it could have been better. Maybe not.
It could have been worse.
The same.
Yeah.
It could have been the same. It could have been worse. But always, hang in there with your decisions. You did the right thing. Okay.
Dr. Manny's kicking some knowledge here.
a little, psychological.
A little wisdom.
That was some aftercare right there.
Yeah, aftercare. But the physicians here, like I said, we support them. Like in the Cayman Islands, the physicians know me. Is like they have my complete support. I've been coming here since 1999, like I said, and it's always been the same.
Okay.
It's always been this. Patients call me directly. Physicians call me, and definitely that relation with the Cayman Islands is like I always used to say. I was born in Cuba, and the C for Cuba is C for Cayman.
Yeah. Well, we have such close relations with Cuba as is, right?
It is.
And same thing with Florida.
And always, I always tell all the patients everywhere I go, if I'm the radio, TV, everything, make sure you go to your local doctor. When you feel something, you have something, go to your doctor.
There's such
It's important to do that.
And I'm going to say with men, I find that they're a lot more reluctant to go to the doctor.
Of course.
Well, but certain men, nowadays, and they're afraid of going to the urologist, especially.
Right. Yes.
Yes, but nowadays, you don't need to have that exam. There's blood work that could be done.
Okay.
And you avoid that exam, the one that don't, and prevention is really, detection is better. Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
It's better to know. It's better to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early detection is prevention. I always say it. If you catch on things early, that's the way it is. There's so many studies going on. We could sit here and talk about all the studies, but I mean, each specialty has a different study. Each one is working, and some of them. I mean, I just yesterday I was one of the physicians that did stem cells, about stem cells and, for the heart,
Oh, okay.
Yes, and, the relation that, they've been doing it since 2003.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but you think was the other day.
No, I wouldn't have, I guess I wouldn't have paired stem cell research and operations with the heart. I've heard it with knee and other joints and stuff like that, but
and I was talking to the physician yesterday about it, and then when COVID started, I mean, it was 4 or 5 years ago, we didn't know what COVID was.
Right.
We didn't know. We just go out and shooting everywhere to see if we could find something. Some of the physicians went on the ventilator, and the stem cell physician director, he told me that what they did was, they asked permission. And they, FDA said, go ahead and try. They did stem cell, and those patients got off the ventilators. They did 16 patients, and that one was a trial that, like the regular trials, you have people that get this medication, this one. No, this one, they just went straight to it. All 16 got out of the ventilators.
Okay.
And they were in ventilators for a while.
And how are they now? Do we know?
No, they're doing fine now. They recovered completely.
Okay.
And it's amazing, It doesn't work for everybody. In this situation, it worked. But, stem cells is something that is, it's really insurances sometimes don't approve it. Like the FDA doesn't approve it all the time. It's still in steady process and trials, still a lot of trials into it. But to some people, it's great. It works perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
I've known of, I think there was a few NFL players.
Yes.
I don't know how long ago it was, but they came from the U.S. to the Cayman Islands to do, it was knee, I think it was specifically knee rehab with stem cell replacement.
And there's, companies here that do stem cells, there's some practices that do stem cell here. So, and I'm very, good friends with them.
I know we're talking about stem cells, but could you give a little bit of background to what it is for the people that might not be so familiar with what that is?
Well, actually, when that started with stem cells, is all of us have cells in our body that are still reproducing all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
So back in the old days, when this started, it was taken out of the blood. You do the centrifuge for the patient, for the blood of the patient. You separated the new the stem cells from the regular the heme, all of the the different plasma and all that. Okay, and that's the one that was injected. But nowadays, that has come a long way. I mean, they and a lot of times people say, well, from the umbilical cord. With babies. No. There's nothing to do with, that. I mean, yes, obviously it's young blood, but that's what they say from the umbilical cord because obviously the kids, those stem cells are growing, and they keep going and they keep growing. So those are the ones that are being used, but it's not that situation that they say, they do things to the babies in order to get the stem cells. No, it has nothing to do with that. Okay, so what it does is it goes into your different, parts of the body, and like the one of the heart, they inject it in the heart. Okay, and they have, different ways of injecting. It's not just get a needle injected. No.
I mean, that sounds scary.
Yeah, I know. But it's not that way. It's not that way. It's, it's very complex. And what they do is you could see the hearts get better, but the heart is a machine that, never stops.
Right.
And it's continuously working. I know it works a lot on the joints.
Before you go to the joints, in what, conditions would one be seeking stem cell treatment with the heart? What conditions would
actually,
have?
The best way, like I said, is still studies. It's not something, we're going to treat this heart with stem cells. It's not like that. You have to have a criteria. You have to have a clinical trials in order to be, because some clinical trials are done, and then they take 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. But there's others starting. There is starting a lot of clinical trials continuously and doing it different ways, the stem cells. And that's why, it's not specifically say, okay, you have this, you got to go to stem cell, No, it's not that. It has to be in clinical trials and clinical trials consist of, giving the stem cell, giving placebos, and giving other medications. So that's the, some of the things of this clinical trial is, you have to have, at different sources to make sure that it works or not.
Yeah, but would I have to be suffering from like heart disease in order to be a
It could
candidate?
normally it's heart failure. A lot of the heart failures,
Okay.
a lot of the studies is that, like the heart, gets, hypertrophy, where it becomes big, pumping, the muscle grows, and the heart itself is using its own stem cells, try to, compensate that sickness.
Right.
Okay. I mean, in layman's terms, that's really what, could say. But scientifically it's not, but that's the way it is. And what it does is, like you do these stem cells, these trials, and, obviously you see recovery in, a lot of them.
Right.
Yes.
So we talked about the heart, and what I mentioned was the joints, right? Like
The
your
joints.
knee kind of.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went to your wrist,
Yeah. She wants to get back onto the topic of my wrist. Okay, so what can I do to get stem cell on my wrist? I know where she's going with this.
I mean, the option might still be there, but I actually wasn't
Manny
thinking
has
that.
the connection for you, just so you know, if you want stem cell.
Thank you.
Thank you. But really, and I know in the joints
Yeah.
it works, because the joints is always continuous. Always. It's a capsule, it's a machine. That's always hanging in. They know working. And a lot of people have joint problems, and the stem cells work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, because it depends. The sooner you get it, the better it is. It recovers a lot faster, because once you get to that, the tissue that is a scarring tissue.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
the
problem.
problem. That's the
That
problem.
is
Once you
my
get into
problem.
the scarring tissue, it's hard to recover anything.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things is like this physician, like I was talking about stem cell, the director there yesterday, they're trying to do it in spinal cord injuries.
Yeah.
The problem is, once you have this scar
tissue.
the scarring tissue, it won't, it's hard to work. I mean,
and
yeah.
that's so
It's a
hard
scar
because it's so
your
stubborn.
body
Very stubborn.
tries to recover that, and what it does is having this like a scarring tissue that is going to be healing you, trying to heal you and protect you, really protecting you.
Yeah.
But
a little too much.
It's overprotecting. Yeah, it's
Yes.
like the overprotecting part.
But definitely it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'd seen it a lot. It works, and that's how it started actually at the beginning. And like you said, those football players that come here, they used to do it. Like in the U.S., a lot of them do it. But there is, I know there's the capability here in the Cayman Islands.
Well, I'm not sure it was fully approved. Perhaps in the states that they were in, or
Right.
even in the U.S. Because you did say it's not everywhere. It's a
FDA,
practice,
yeah, it hasn't.
right?
FDA say, okay, you can use stem cells for this. No,
Right,
for this
yeah.
injury. No, it's not. It hasn't been approved.
It hasn't been approved.
It could be, it could be used, but it's not approved officially as a FDA medication or drug.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm.
And that's important as well.
It
'cause,
is, yes.
That's kind of like the standard that.
Right. Yeah,
people
and
are
that's
looking
important. Yeah, because if not, everybody will be doing it, for everything. So, yeah.
We've had some of that here too. So yes.
No, it's like, but definitely, definitely, it's really a pleasure, and always to be in the Cayman Islands. Anybody could call me. I'm here. I'll be at the Ritz. That's where the event is. Congratulate to the people that are organizing the event. Thank you for having us here in the radio station, and Dwayne for not being here. But
you have me.
Yeah,
It's all right.
have you is a lot better.
Hey, you heard that, Dwayne? I'm gonna clip that part and send it to
He
him.
knows. He knows he's in my heart. He
Yeah,
knows
no,
he's in
Dwayne.
my
Dwayne
heart.
is great.
Yeah,
He really
he's
is.
in my heart. But Dwayne's a man. Yeah.
We got to wrap up. So if there's anything that you do want our listeners to know regarding you guys being at the healthcare conference, how they can get in touch with you, go ahead.
It's a
Let them
pleasure.
know.
Thank you. Like I said, a lot of people know me. It's Dr. Manny Mantecan. Here, my cell phone number is 305-951-1673. Everybody knows I give it out. At any time, they could reach me at any time. But we're here supporting the physicians in the Cayman Islands. We're here supporting everybody that needs to be taken care of in the Cayman Islands, here in Health City. We work directly with Health City. We work with Doctors Hospital. We work with the HSA. Actually, University of Miami is like, Center of Excellence, state-of-the-art institutes. But we're here supporting and working with the physicians locally. Make sure, to everybody listening, go to your doctor here locally, please. Make sure.
Yeah.
I do not want to see people over there because they didn't get taken care of themselves. And the physicians are doing the best to try to teach them here. I mean, try to, cure and make everything done here. But thank you, and I appreciate it for having us, Miss Catherine.
No problem. Did you want to say anything in closing, Nick?
I second that note. Everything Manny said.
All right. So it's the 14th Annual Cayman Islands Healthcare Conference. They will be at the Ritz starting this evening and
Yes.
for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and Saturday.
And Saturday as well.
Yeah.
So
That's Saturday's half the day.
come check it out. And thank you very much for joining us. I know it was last minute for you guys to come, but I'm really appreciative that you were able to come because I know you just got off that plane. And came here too, so.
No, but I mean,
there's no real jet lag. We're good.
That's true. That's true. Well, enjoy
flight.
your time in Cayman. And,
Thank you. Pleasure.
Hopefully it's a great conference.
Thank you and pleasure, and we're here for you.
Excellent. Thank you to our listening audience for joining us this afternoon.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its customers and the motoring public of planned works on Edward Street on Sunday, 29th October. To facilitate the work, customers on Edward Street, a portion of Dr. Roy's Drive and Genesis Close, will experience an interruption of service from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Additionally, the northbound lane of Edward Street between the junction of Cardinal Avenue and Main Street in the vicinity of the Central Post Office will be closed to vehicular traffic from 5 a.m. till 11 a.m. Traffic signs will be posted in the area and flagmen will be on hand to direct traffic. All motorists are asked to drive with caution to ensure their safety and that of the Water Authority staff. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of the motoring public and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.